All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go over graphing linear equations today. We're going to do it with a T-chart method in this tutorial. All right, linear equations are an equation with two variables that we can't solve for. So the key here is two variables. Usually we're going to be using y and x in our equations. And we're going to try to solve for x and y values that form an ordered pair. So we should be used to this from our coordinate graphing. One way we can deal with linear equations is we want to know values for both x and y, and we get an infinite number. And so what we can do is we can just start plugging in values for x or for y, either one, and then solve the equation. So what you would do is you would create a T-chart and you would plug in various values for x or y. I've pre-assigned those here. We're going to plug in 2, 4, and 6 for x. And so if x is equal to 2, what we would do is we would plug in 2 for x. So 2 plus y equals 8. Notice I replaced the x with a 2. And I'm going to solve for y. I'm going to add negative 2 to both sides of the equation, and I get y equals 6 in this case. And so my first order pair, if x is equal to 2, y is equal to 6. Now for x equals 4, now I'm just going to plug in 4 for x, so 4 plus y equals 8. And then I'm going to solve for y, so add negative 4 to both sides. Cancels out those 4's, and 8 plus negative 4 is 4, so y equals 4 is my second value. And then the last one, x equals 6, going to plug that in. 6 plus y equals 8, so I'm going to add negative 6 to both sides, add negative 6. And we get y is equal to 2. So that's my third point. We'll do 6, 2 there. So then what we do is we go to the graph, and we will graph these points. X is 2, and then y is 6. So that point is right here on the graph, the coordinate graph. And then 4 and 4, we go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, and then up 4. There's our second point. And our third point is 6, 2, so that would be right here. That gives us 3 points, which gives us the ability to easily draw a line. And we put arrows on the end of it, indicating it goes forever. And so our solutions are infinite for this problem. Now that was a pretty easy one to plug in numbers for x. It can get far more complicated, so let's take a look at a little bit harder one. And I'm going to ask that you guys try this. Okay, I'm going to ask that you pause the video in a moment. I'm going to write an equation on here, and I want you to make a T-chart and solve for 3 points and to make your own graph and graph them to practice. I will go through it afterwards. So the problem is going to be negative 2x plus y equals 8. So go ahead and pause it now and try to make your T-chart and solve for 3 points and graph them. Okay, if you paused it and you started working through it, I will give the solution now. So I'll make my T-chart of x and y. And I'm going to just, I like to pick simple numbers. So I'm going to do 0 for x to start. And if I do that, I get negative 2 times 0 plus y equals 8. And so that's 0 plus y equals 8, which is y equals 8. So there's my first point, 0, 8. Let's try 0 for y. That's a nice, pretty simple number a lot of times. So we will do negative 2x plus y. Nope, sorry, plus 0. Plugged in 0 for y equals 8. Negative 2x plus 0 is negative 2x equals 8. Divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. We get x equals negative 4. So here's our first 2 points. We do a third point so that we can just confirm it works. Let's try 1 for x, see what happens. Negative 2 times 1 plus y equals 8. And so I've plugged in 1 for x. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2 plus y equals 8. I have to add 2 to both sides. That cancels. We get y is equal to 10. So here's my third point. And now we're going to go to the next page and graph it. Okay, we're going to graph the solutions now. I've written the 3 points up in the corner just so I have some reference from the previous slide. Our 3 points are 0, 8. So x is 0, y is 8. So my first point is here. My second point is negative 4. That's the x value. And y is 0. So that goes here. And then my last point is 110. So I go over x1 to the right and then up 10 to there. So there's 3 points. It looks like a pretty good line to me. So I draw my line through those points. I put arrows on the end and I am done.